This is probably the biggest news in Canadian history. I don't even understand how we've gotten to this. I do understand how we've gotten to this point, but also I don't fully understand how we've gotten to this point. Canada is picking a fight with American President Trump. And you know the FAFO saying, I forgot to find out. Well, now Canada is in the finding out stage. President Trump is trying to unite the world. And there's certain countries, not a lot of countries. Hamas, by the way, is willing to form a deal with Trump. Gaza, Palestine, Iran, all these countries are willing to form a deal with Trump. Even China is willing to form a deal with Trump. You know who isn't willing to form a deal with Trump? In Canada. I'm sorry for swearing, but oh my goodness, it's so bad what is going on in Canada. And for those that need to be reminded, because I keep saying it every time I talk about Canada, I keep saying this: Canadian patriotism, the foundation of Canadian patriotism, proud to be Canadian, is not the core ideology of, hey, we're proud to be Canadian, the maple leaf, everything we have, polar bears, igloos, we say a boot, it's funny, it's cute. No, it's we're proud not to be American. That's the fundamental pillars of Canadian patriotism. It's not even up for debate. It's just a fact. And we're seeing it play out right now in real time. So what the hell am I talking about? President Trump is trying to unite the world with a newfound organization called the Board of Peace. And, well, Canada is no longer a part of it. Yeah, that's right. Like, a whole bunch of countries are part of it. Even Russia is like, you know what? Putin's like, you know what, man, I'm going to front $1 billion to be a part of your Board of Peace because I don't know what the hell's going on in the world and I just want it all to stop. Every country is begging to be a part of the Board of Peace, except for Canada. That's right. So thanks to this user right here called User Found for tagging me in this post on X. By the way, follow me on X. The link is down below, please, and tag me in all this stuff that you find. I came across this post that was just breaking news. You can see 5 minutes ago. Breaking: Trump withdraws Canada's invitation to join the Board of Peace. Dear Prime Minister Carney, please let this letter serve to represent that the Board of Peace is withdrawing its invitation to you regarding Canada's joining what will be the most prestigious board of leaders ever assembled at any time. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. This is bad, ladies and gentlemen, for Canada, because Canada has been taking advantage of the United States. Canada has threatened to cut off the power to the United States. I called it out that I got attacked personally in the media. They literally tried to label me a right-wing extremist because I was like, I'm pretty sure that's a like war violation or something to cut power off to another country. Like, that's an act of war. Like, that seems pretty bad and kind of crazy to do that. But Doug Ford tried doing that in Ontario to 1.4 million homes in the United States. Canada has been absolutely taking advantage of America and literally just pretending like America has not been defending Canada at all costs. And so what is the price to pay? This right here, being rejected. Or actually, it's not even as bad as being rejected, because rejected is like you apply, you get rejected. We were in, Canada was in, but because Mark Carney is such an asshole to President Trump, he's like, you know what? Nah, you're revoked. So there you go. But in order to understand how we've gotten to this point, here's some events that took place over the past literal 48 hours to get us to right here.
Let me be direct. We are in the midst of a rupture, not a transition. Over the past 2 decades, a series of crises in finance, health, energy, and geopolitics have laid bare the risks of extreme global integration. But more recently, great powers have begun using economic integration as weapons. Tariffs as leverage, financial infrastructure as coercion, supply chains as vulnerabilities to be exploited. On Arctic sovereignty, we stand firmly with Greenland and Denmark and fully support their unique right to determine Greenland's future. Our commitment to NATO's Article 5 is unwavering. So we're working with our NATO allies, including the Nordic-Baltic Gate, to further secure the alliance's northern and western flanks, including through Canada's unprecedented investments in over-the-horizon radar, in submarines, in aircraft, and boots on the ground, boots on the ice. Canada strongly opposes tariffs over Greenland and calls for focused talks to achieve our shared objectives of security and prosperity in the Arctic.
Well, that's what Mark Carney said at the World Economic Forum. Then President Trump retaliated with this.
Going to be defending Canada. Canada gets a lot of freebies from us, by the way. They should be grateful also, but they're not. I watched your Prime Minister yesterday. He wasn't so grateful. But they should be grateful to us. Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that, Mark, the next time you make your statements.
And then Mark Carney clapped back with this today.
Canada and the United States have built a remarkable partnership in the economy, in security, and in rich cultural exchange. But Canada doesn't live because of the United States. Canada thrives because we are Canadian.
This is such a big deal to be a part of the Board of Peace that even Putin said this.
President Putin has said that he may use frozen Russian assets to pay for his entry to the Board of Peace. Are you inclined to let him do that?
I don't know about that. I mean, I've heard that. Who said that?
President Putin.
It's very interesting. But he said he's going to use his money.
It's frozen
If
assets.
he's using his money, I think that's fine. Yeah. You're talking about where he said this morning
Yes.
he's going to join the Board of Peace and he's going to make a contribution of $1 billion. Yeah, by using his money. I mean, if he's using his money, that's great. I think it's important to have everybody in.
I think it's important to have everybody in, but it's so bad for Canada that they just got kicked out. Invitation has been fully revoked.
Who do you want as the world superpower moving forward? If it's down to the United States and China, and it is, by the way, if you look at all the
US,
numbers, and it's
100%
by the way, a distant
US.
second. You want the people who enslave millions?
I don't want to
who
learn
forcibly
a
sterilize
Chinese.
and then forcibly, I don't want to say impregnate, but observe insemination, who jail, execute dissidents. You want to give those people
Or do you want the
control over
Chinese?
you want them.
I don't want my kids to learn the Chinese. No, thank you. So that's where we are right now today. And I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss for words because this is so bad for Canada. Like, we know it's bad, so much so that even Alberta, like an entire conservative, almost Republican province, is like, okay, we got to get the hell out of here. But now it's so bad that even the Board of Peace, right, which is, I don't know if the goal is to replace that as the UN or NATO or whatever it is. It's Trump's own thing. Obviously, countries are dying to be a part of it. They are literally willing to pay $1 billion to be a part of it. Canada's invitation has been fully revoked. So that's not good, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. Please, Trump, open up some visas for Canadians so they can flee Canada. Because if he did that, I can almost guarantee you 800,000 people would sign up on day one and leave Canada immediately. That's the video. Like and subscribe before they take away our rights to make videos in Canada. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.